Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. I wanted to do a flip through of my latest journal, which is finally finished. This is a design team project also for Dash of Dave. So I will show you his papers as I go through. The other papers that I used were Graphic 45's Master Detective. So, which I do not think is still available, but you might be able to get it on maybe Amazon or maybe not Amazon, eBay, maybe. Not making any promises. But this is a journal that I've kind of had an idea for a long time to make. And because I've had this paper for a long time, and I wanted to make something that was kind of interactive and kind of, you could maybe play with and that kind of thing. Now, I will go ahead and say up front that I am not an author or a writer for the most part. So my mystery story might have some some holes in it that don't maybe necessarily make sense. But that being said, I think it's okay. It's fun. Just go with that, okay? I'm not a professional mystery writer, let's put it that way. Okay, so this measures 6, a little less than 6, 5 3/4 by about 10. So it's tall. It's a Lapbook. It's got a lot of moving parts to it. There is one signature in it. It is about 1.5 inches wide on this side. This side I think is a little more on the chunky end. It's about 2 3/4 on that side. So a little more chunky on this end than the other. So let's go through it and I will show you all the parts of it and definitely make sure I point out all of Dave's papers because they're really awesome. He has a lot of sets that are just kind of more, what I like about to use them is kind of more backing papers or, they could go on the back of a printed sheet, that has a decorative side. And he's got a lot of decorative papers too, that you could use in journals, as, your pages and a signature. But I like these kind of plain ones to kind of do a lot of different things with. So I'm going to kind of show you, and I'm also going to show you a little kind of happy accident that I had during making this. So when you start on the cover, there is an envelope here with a pocket. This is one of Dave's papers. This paper in here is also one of Dave's. That what I did was I crumpled it up, kind of sprayed it a little bit, and then sanded it a little bit so it kind of looks more like leather. And then I made this little booklet and sewed around it. So this is the detective who's investigating these murders. There are multiple murders. Jonathan Biggs, he's the inspector detective, kind of my own made up thing. And there is his badge. So that fits in this little pocket here. So this is one of his papers too. This is also one of his papers on the spine, one of Dave's. So this flips open and there's nothing really on the inside. I kind of left it plain because it was getting a little chunky. So this is one of Dave's papers and this is one of Dave's papers. So I like these lined ones too that are really, and I will list the names of the papers down in the description box. So I like this one that's lined like this too. So in this pocket, there's a pocket here. In this pocket, there's a tag. And in this tag, there are 2 little envelopes that are sealed. And when you pull them out and flip them over, one of them says open for more clues, and this one is whodunit. So these are kind of your answers to the murder mystery if you haven't figured it out at this point, at some point. So that goes in there. This is one of Dave's papers, and this is one of Dave's papers. This is not. Yeah, some of these papers too, like that one I just showed you that was on the back of the tag, is actually from a paper pack that I've had for quite a while. I have a bunch of those that I've printed on in here that I bought on Amazon a long time ago, that are just pre-printed, kind of aged vintage papers, I guess. So this is held closed with a magnet. So there's a magnet right there that holds this closed, which is nice. So then this unwraps to open up. There is a large pocket here that I have nothing in, but you can definitely add something there. And then when you open this, there is your suspect list over here. So when you untie this and open this up, there's a card for every one of the suspects. On each card, there's a photo and there's information about them. And there's also information on the back of each card. So there are 8 cards in here. So you can certainly, you know, add your own information if you wanted to. You could certainly just kind of, you know, play with this in any way that you like. So this ties back up by just putting the thread, the little twine back through, and then I just loop it through this and pull it up and just tie it. And then you can pull it back down into the middle. All right. On this side, so this is kind of all flips out a little bit. So we'll get to all the stuff here as we go through it. So here there's just some pockets, and in here there's a tag, and then there's a bunch of just little ephemera kind of pieces. They're all blank on the back. So they're either backed with Dave's paper, or they already were kind of blank on the back, depending on what they were. And so you can write on all of these. This is also one of Dave's papers back here. So when you flip this open on this side, you have a map of where the murders happened and who was murdered, where each body was found. So this is a map of Central Park in New York City. So you have each one of the murders there. This murder happened to be 4 sisters. So they were all found in different places in the park. This is the detective's notebook. It slides out, and it is just some coffee dyed lined paper, like steno note paper, that I just put in this little notebook here. This label is actually these labels, big labels, are from Eva Bohemian Crafting, and then I just pulled them up and typed into them and then printed the whole thing out. So this just slips into that little band right there and sits right there. This also opens, right here in these, there's 2 pockets here, 2 separate pockets, and in each pocket there is a little folder, and in each folder there's a picture of one of the victims. So this is Margaret, and these are also backed, so you could write on them, and there's also information about each of them and how they died. So there's a card for each of them, a folder for each of them. Some of them have 2 pictures. And the pictures I got from some various places. I think a couple of them were Eva's, like the one in the car right there was Eva's from Bohemian Crafting. I want to say a couple of them are from, oh, I can't remember where I got them all. I think this is from Eva, but I think this is, I got from somewhere else and I can't remember where I got it right now. But I thought that they really looked the same, those two girls. Pretty much. Pretty close. Being two separate places that I got those pictures from. So, so each of them have their little folder and they all fit in here. And this picture is all four of them together. And then when you flip this open here, you have a large envelope. And in this envelope, and this is one of Dave's papers right here. In this envelope, you will find, these are printed on this pre-printed kind of vintage papers that I bought from Amazon a long time ago. You will find a sheet on each victim and information about them. So each of them is here. They are blank, so you could definitely write on the back. So there's one for each of them. So there are 4 of them. So those just go in there. And then in this little pocket, there is a tag, just a large tag that you could write on, you could do whatever. And then here is a little newspaper article about the murder of these 4 sisters. So it is blank on the back, so you could write on it. But I found this website where you could kind of make these little newspaper things. So I thought that was kind of fun. So when you flip this way, there's a pocket here that has a tag in it, which you could just journal on or add whatever you like to it. But inside here, there are witness statements. So inside here, there are multiple little pieces of paper. And on each one of them, there are witness statements. So some of them are actually from the suspects. Some of them are from different people, their parents. Clara is married, so from her husband. From some friends that saw them in the park that day. So there are quite a few of them in here, and they're all blank. So you can definitely write on the back of them. So those just flip in there, and this gets closed. I got the little tabby things over there stuck, and the top of this stuck. Struggle is real, you know? Okay. And then I think that's all on this side, right? Okay. So in this envelope here, there is, I don't think there's anything in this one. Yeah, I don't think I put anything in this one. This one is just here. There's also a little space back here that you could put something. So there's definitely space where you could put. So cutting into the middle of this video because I lied. There is something in this pocket. I knew I forgot something. This is, this pocket's a little tight to get into, which is why I think I forgot it. So there is a police report in this pocket. And again, this is printed on one of those pre-printed papers. So it is the kind of the basis of the story and what happened. So that is the police report. So that is in there. And that just ties back up. So I wanted to come back on and put that in the middle of this video because there is something in there and it's important to the whole story of this. So thank you. So this is just kind of a little cluster thing. I kind of liked this little card that I got. This is from, it will come to me, the Junk Journal Studio. She has a All Things Distressed kit, and this is in her kit. And I liked it because it was kind of, because this is a detective and that kind of thing, it's like the whole idea of elementary. It's elementary like Sherlock Holmes. So it was just my little weird personality, I guess. So in here, there's a little tag here that you could write on. It's got a little cluster on it. This flips up. There's a little thing there. This flips out, so you could write on it. This is one of Dave's papers. There's a tag here that you could write on. And it's a little tight. It will go in, but it's a little tight sometimes. Again, the struggle is real, right? And then there's another tag here that you could write on. Okay. So that. Now, most of the pages in here I did not do anything to, because I knew if I started getting pages in here, it would just get super chunky and I would never get it closed. So I didn't do a lot of decorating, but I wanted to just flip through this and show you the papers in here, but I also wanted to show you this kind of happy accident I had. So first of all, let me flip to the back and show you what happened. So, oh, I also have this, which is a little magnifying glass that actually does work. I don't know if you can see it, but it does work. So it is kind of like a little magnifying glass that I kind of thought was pretty cool. So on here, if you can see that right there, and I will lift it up a little bit so you can see that right there. So my glass mat had apparently some water on it. So I did not realize it. You know, get your book out, you set it down, you start working on it, you pick it up, you move it, and you realize it's wet. So, I was kind of like, oh man, like I just done this whole thing, like, oh my gosh. But then I decided, you know what, that kind of looks okay. I kind of like how that looks. It looks kind of cool. And I thought, you know, this is supposed to be an old detective's kind of book, so, or folio or whatever. So it might be water stained, right? It might have a stain on it like that. So I was kind of okay with it at that point. By the way, this is Dave's paper too that I just kind of crumpled up and obviously got wet. And that's kind of what happened. There is a pocket here that doesn't have anything in it, but you can certainly put something in there. So after I had that little happy accident there, then as I was going through, so I do not have a printer yet that kind of prints like a full sheet, a full 8.5 by 11 sheet or an A4 sheet, all the way to the edge. So I always have the border to cut out around it. And when I printed Dave's papers, these papers weren't so bad. I could blow them up and still have a tiny little border to cut around. But these, when I first printed them, it printed almost like a 1/2 inch all the way around. So they're smaller papers because I ended up having to cut the weight all off of them. But so I was sitting there kind of thinking, what am I going to do with these? They're a little more, a couple of them are a little more bold maybe. And they were just kind of sitting on my desk as I was going through this. So what I did was, so this is one of those pre-printed papers from like Amazon or whatever, but this is one of Dave's papers. Now, when you look at the original paper, it's a lot more kind of orange, maybe than this yellow. But what I did, and they were all white on the back. All the paper was white, obviously, because I printed on copy paper. I printed this on a little bit heavier, more like presentation paper. So the weight's a little bit more than a normal copy paper. But what I did was I thought, oh my gosh, that was so cool on the back. Maybe I should spray these and just see what happens to them. What's the worst that could have happened to them? I mean, I could still use them for something else, right? So I sprayed them all, and as I sprayed them, and I laid them on top of each other, and then I sprayed them again and kind of just kept spraying them and then drying them and spraying them. And I sprayed some coffee on them too. So what happened was this ended up being the back side, which I think is just, and I'm going to kind of put it in the sun there so you can see it. I think it's just beautiful, like how these colors came through. It's kind of interesting. There's some green in there. There's this more red orangey color. I just think it's the coolest thing how this happened. So there are 4 papers in here that are like this. And I'll show you. Here's the second one. This is a actual coffee dye paper that I did a long time ago. This is another one of Dave's that came out just so cool. I just love how it came out. It's just a piece of paper from the Graphics 45. This is another coffee dyed paper. This is just a piece of cardstock, just plain piece of cardstock. Printed. Here's another one of Dave's. I just think they just came out so cool. A piece of onion skin, another piece of coffee dyed paper, and then this is the last one that's kind of from Dave's set. So I just think they're so cool, and this is from the Graphics 45 paper. And then when you go through, you can kind of see the other sides of them. I just love how that looks. I just think that's so cool. Here's another one. They're hard to see. I know there's a shadow from the sun. So pretty. That is so pretty to me. There's the last one. So those are all there. And then in the last of this, there's a little pocket with a little feather. I'm going to scooch this all the way over so I'm not off frame here. And in this little pocket, when you pull this feather out, there's a little quill tip on the bottom. So you could actually write on it. And the little quill tip actually says notes on it right there, which is really hard to see. But you could actually use it if you had a dip. So that just fits in that little pocket right there. That's one of Dave's papers right there. And then in this pocket here, so this is one of Dave's papers, which actually this is kind of the paper that made me go, I'm going to use this paper for this kit, because that totally looked just like a big blood stain. Sorry, Dave. It does. That's what it reminded me of. I think I watch way too much of those murder mystery kind of things on YouTube, like That Chapter and Coffee House Crime and those kinds of things. So I think I watched too many of those, and this is what reminded me of that. So in this pocket, it says evidence. So there are 2 envelopes that I made, and in these envelopes, there are 2 little packs in each one. And this is the evidence that was collected at each one of the scenes of the crime for each one of the sisters. So there's a kind of a book page or a something like that, and then there is a piece of fabric or ribbon inside. And when you read the whole case, it will tell you what they are and why they have them and all of that. I don't want to spoil the fun of that. So these just flip in and they go right in here. Okay, so that is the kit. So this folds this way, and this folds this way, and this folds this way, and this just wraps a couple of times. So there you go. This will be up in my Etsy shop shortly after I post this video. So if this is your kind of thing and you are interested in this, please go check it out. I really loved making this and had so much fun with it. And I think that, you know, if this is your thing, again, I'm not really mystery writer by any means, believe me. It may not have the best storyline or any of that, but I thought it was fun. So I hope that you enjoyed this. Please leave me a comment if you have any questions or anything. This is also one of Dave's papers too. That it's the same one, but it's kind of shrunk down a little bit. And please go check out Dave. I will list his information in the description box below as well. And I hope you enjoyed it. So thank you. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.